What is up, Game Brigade? Welcome back to another video. This month has been popping in terms of stellar games, just so much stuff coming out in crowdfunding. I've been a little overwhelmed almost with all the stuff that's happening. So today on the episode or on the show, we are going to be doing a back or skip, basically back or pass, where we talk about a bunch of campaigns, give you my hot takes on what I like, what I don't like, just giving you some recommendations on what I've seen. So that way you guys can make the best backing decisions. And of course, let me know in the comment section down below if there's anything that I missed. Now, before we get too far into this, as a reminder, I'm going to be on vacation when this posts. So this is being pre-recorded a little bit. So the timelines in terms of days to go will be a little different. Not that like it's a totally bad thing or anything, but I'm going to be enjoying a vacation with my family, celebrating my wife's chemotherapy treatment. So, where at least the ending of the stage 1 treatment side. So here we have the first section here. It's the Don't Starve, the board game. This is from Glass Cannon Unplugged. And this one struck my fancy because there's a lot of these roguelike video games that have been converting to board games, and they've been doing it relatively well. The last one I played that was very, very good was Slay the Spire. And I think Don't Starve kind of fills into that similar niche for people who are looking for a game that integrates its video game portion really well to the tabletop space, and I want to make sure I'm talking about that. So what is this one? Well, effectively you are going to be going through different types of scenarios, collecting resources cooperatively with your friends, trying to survive as you try to meet whatever the scenario goal is. Again, on these episodes, by the way, we do very quick high-level reviews of these campaigns. It looks really good. I would highly recommend, of course, as I always say, to click on the media section, watch any of these ones. I checked out the Broken Meeples video, give a very good video rundown of what to expect. So what are we looking in terms of pledges? There's two versions. They have an acrylic standee version as well as a miniature version. The miniatures look great. I think they really essentially capture the video game characters really well, but I actually don't think the colored acrylics are that bad. So take that as you will. If I were to be backing this right now, which I'm not, unfortunately, there's just too many games this month that I can consider. I'm not backing this one. Very much FOMO though, but if I were, I'd be probably leaning more towards the acrylic version. The next game we're going to be taking a look at here is Dice Throne Vanguard. I am not the biggest Dice Throne fan, so put that out there. I've purchased my Marvel versions and I've sold them and moved on from Dice Thrones. I think Dice Thrones as a system is a little bit simplistic, but I do see that they have, over the past few iterations, have tried to increase the complexity and the way each character plays. And I think they're doing the same thing here with Vanguard. I also think that Dice Throne is a great gateway entry for people who want to introduce people who are not board gamers into the board gaming space. You're going to get this really deluxified field experience. It's very simple to teach, very simple to understand, and just complexity with the game as well. But it's also very luck-based because you're just rolling dice and it kind of plays itself. And that was my biggest complaint for Dice Throne originally, is that it kind of played itself. You just roll and you're like, well, this is what I have, so it's what I got to do. There's no other options, right? So Vanguard is going to be introducing 4 new heroes, so you have playable versions. They also have the miniatures, so if you have the campaign version of the game, you can play that. And what I liked the most about this one is they are definitely increasing, one, the Kickstarter exclusives are a little bit better. I've been very disappointed with Dice Throne's Kickstarter exclusive items and didn't really give a big incentive to back it through the campaign, because like when I backed the Marvel one, all you got was like some foiling cards and a little metal Thor's hammer, which you wouldn't even know is there or not. Like, it didn't really matter. So they're doing a little bit better, trying to give some interesting Kickstarter exclusives for each of the characters. Again, they're very minimal, but they're there at least. But at least each of these characters has an interesting play mechanic that gives them something a little bit more complex for them to do. And you can see they do have this complexity chart here for you to understand. And even if you were to go all the way to 6, those ones still aren't that complex. But you got a lot of average complexity in their ratings, but still some stuff happening. It's an interesting game. Again, I am not a big fan of dice thrones. I moved on pretty quickly. It bounced off of me pretty hard. But I do know a lot of people in my player group love this game. They have all of the boxes and whatnot. So I want to make sure I brought it up here on the show. The next one I want to at least point on, and this is not necessarily a game, but it's for people who have obsession. This is a basically a campaign that is bringing a big box storage solution, a playmat, but most importantly for a lot of people, a rules compendium update, and combining all of the expansions of Obsession into a single rules booklet that's been redefined and streamlined for ease of use, basically making Obsession a little easier to get to the game. I will also say this campaign, in terms of the video here and all the things I'm seeing here, is a true revitalization of old school Kickstarter, like 2015 era Kickstarters. Like this is an actual, like if you go here to the video and zoom in, you got the designer just sitting there talking to you, right? Like he's just talking to you about what he's got and all the things he's changing. This is how Kickstarter kind of started. It's kind of cool to see people still doing that kind of thing. So if you have Obsession and you'd like to get some additional stuff, this might be a campaign for you. But when I was checking out the rewards, I do not believe you can actually get the game. So if you don't have the game, it is what it is. So the next game we're going to check out is Primal Hex. I did a should you back on this video. I thought Primal Hex looked very exciting. Not doing as well as I would think they would, because I think the game looks pretty interesting. Again, I did a full dedicated video on this one. So if you want more of my take on why I think this game is great, I would check that out. But check out the rewards over here. You've got the Primal Hex base game, $45. I think that's a great deal. You've got this game bundle, $100. This one I didn't think was necessarily that needed, but it did. It includes like miniatures and things and additional expansions. Not necessarily the thing that I thought was necessarily needed, because the gameplay was good. But if you want to really deluxify your game, the options are there. And again, I highly recommend checking out my should you back video. Do they actually have it in here? I don't think they would, but that'd be pretty cool if they did, right? No, it's not there. But check it out. I think it'd be great. The game looks cool. It's a strategic chess-like game utilizing different types of powers and abilities for your characters as you try to gain area control on the board. The next one is the next hot game from Awaken Realms, below the Asylum. Now, this is what I'm skipping for now. It looks great, and I got a lot of my friends who are hyped up about it. Basically, you are a group of people who are trying to eradicate these evil. The interesting play mechanic here is you have the board, this big board in the middle here. You've got one which is kind of like the normal side, and the second is like the hell side, I guess. I don't know. They're like two dimensions, right? But they're mirrored of one another. Kind of reminds me of like oh man, like I'm trying to think of like a deep cut movie that I can't, Event Horizon kind of thing, like that. Like just interesting mechanics. Now the game looks good, but it also just reminds me too much of all the other Awaken Realm games that I have in my collection right now. And I don't necessarily know if this one stands out. And it might be better than some of the other ones. I like Ether Fields. This is probably better than Ether Fields that I've been sitting on for a long time. Just because of the designer and the maturing of the gameplay mechanics that Awaken Realms has gone through. But I also don't have my personal space to add another game like this. But I do think this looks good. Like I like everything I'm seeing here. The designer looks great. The stretch goals, all the additional things. A lot of boxes though, so beware of that. If you go over here to the rewards and you see all these boxes, like this is a lot of content you're gonna have to deal with. But I like what I see here. Again, I'm skipping though. Next game we're gonna be taking a look at is Uprising, the legendary big box in the true solo mode. I also did a backing, or a should you back on this video, and I will be backing this game. I'm in it for $1 right now just to secure my pledge, and we'll go through that later in terms of what I want. But Uprising is one of my top 50 games of all time. It's been a game that has been a very well made, well designed, board game that challenges me in ways that no other board game I have in my collection challenges me. This is a 4X game, which means it plays like a Twilight Imperium or something like that, where you have a empire, you're expanding, you're collecting resources, you're conquering, but it's also a cooperative game. Most 4X games, in fact, almost all 4X games are competitive versus each other. You can even see it says 4X right here, but this one is actually cooperative. So you actually are playing against the game system, and there's two enemy AIs you're dealing with. One is the Empire, which is in the center of the board, and you have the I can't remember the curse guys, the toxic guys, these yellow ones. They're on the outside and they're coming in. So you got one pushing out, one pushing in, and you're going to have to maneuver and to try to score as many victory points. And the way whoever wins is either you win as a group or you lose as a group. And if you have one player that has less victory points than one of the AI factions, you will all lose. It's a very brutal game. It's very difficult. It's also a little long in terms of the gameplay length, and they are adding a new true solo mode, so you can play this solo. It's a little bit more refined, smaller map. Very excited. Like I said, I have a full dedicated video on Uprising. Highly recommend checking out if this is something you're interested in, because it's definitely, this is one I'm backing. Like, of the games I'm covering today, there's only a few that I'm backing. This is one of them. The next one is one my wife liked a lot, Mystic Moon by Unstable Games. My wife is very much, she loves cats. She loves brewing things like witches stuff, and this is all of those combined into one. Basically, you're going to be playing as one of these cute little kitty cats, and you're going to be choosing a board that will be your cauldron, and you're going to be collecting resources from this little circular thing here as you try to collect resources to what you're then going to brew different types of spells and potions to collect victory points. Now, the challenging, fun part about this is to get the recipes. You have to spend your victory points to buy the recipes. So obviously, some of the more powerful spells are going to cost you more of your victory points. You start with 10 victory points at the base set of the game. So you could go down in victory points as you're trying to buy those potions, so you can actually gain more on the outset. I think that's a really fun, interesting mechanic. The art to me looks really cool. These guys have done a very good job of making very steady, stellar games in the past. So I'm confident in terms of the designer and the publisher for this game. So check it out if you're interested in that kind of a family weight cutesy game. I mean, look at these little guys like that. You can't pass that up. The next one, Elder Scrolls Heroes of Tamriel. At the time of this recording, my Should You Back video has gone live on this one, and I am backing this one as well. This will be the second. I haven't finished clicking back. If I were to click this, you could see like what I'm debating seriously on what I want. And that's the problem, because if we go down to rewards, you can't really see it. If I dragged it over, you can kind of, let's see, you can kind of see like what I've got in my pledge right now, but I haven't fully clicked submit because I'm looking at $426, and that's a lot of money for a board game. And as my biggest recommendation when I did my Should You Back is, this is a great game. It's a stellar, very good board game, but it's expensive. And if you're playing this 2 or 3 times a year, it might not be worth it. Well, that's the camp that I'm currently in, because I have to play so many board games for the channel. So it's hard for me to commit, half a grand to a board game, that's not including shipping here. So we're going to be close to $500 when shipping hits for a game that I probably get to the table 2, 3, 4, 5 times a year. This is a game you want to be playing once a week, maybe twice a week with your player group, as you really kind of experience the whole story and the magic that it provides. So that's the one thing I'm currently dealing with. But the game definitely looks great. I love a lot of the things they're bringing in. The Heroes of Tamriel expansion is definitely one of my favorite parts. The vault, I think, will make the game easier to table for me in general, but it's $175. So that's the definite thing I'm struggling with on this one. But I'm definitely in it for something, so we'll see what I end up with. The final campaign that we're going to be taking a look at on Gamefound, and I'm scrolling down because I was reviewing the campaign one more time, was Heroes of Might and Magic, the card game. Now, this is probably what I think Heroes of Might and Magic, the board game that was released a few years ago, probably should have been, because it's what I wanted in terms of Heroes of Might and Magic game. It's a card battling system, basically playing cards in the ethos or the world of Heroes of Might and Magic. Now, there's been a lot of games that have done this like battlefield arena setting where you're going to be playing cards and kind of moving your pieces, and based on where they're positioned on the map, they do different things. I've seen tons of games do this, and I've not seen any of them do it well. So that's my biggest hesitancy of this, but it looks good. They've got some videos that are they're okay. I was watching some of these ones trying to get an idea of what they have in terms of the gameplay, and they have a lot of stuff that they're offering here. I'm not going to be backing this one. I just don't have the space and capacity for another card playing dueling system game. I've got way too many. Plus, Star Wars Unlimited is my go-to card game right now. But it definitely looks interesting, and it's one that I think people might enjoy if they took a bigger look at it. So I wanted to make sure I brought it up here on the page. Going back over to Kickstarter, we have Cyberpunk Legends. This one's an interesting one because it's by a indie publisher who got the rights to Cyberpunk to build this game, which is pretty cool. And the reason I wanted to showcase this is it's providing a completely different gameplay than what I think most people would expect. So this is a cooperative card playing system where you'll actually be going through different types of scenarios based on the scenario deck you have, and the scenarios are outlined like this is the first card, this is the second card. So you're going through a kind of a narrated story with this one. And the way that you complete each of the objectives or the challenges as you're playing through the scenario is by playing cards from your hand and building poker hands. It's kind of an interesting kind of way to do it. And the only unfortunate thing, the only way I was actually able to learn about this game was going in here and clicking the rulebook, which they have, thank God. I always am very upset when companies don't have rulebooks, and kind of going through the rule book. And I came down here and they kind of showed the cards, and this is what I was going to talk about. Here's an example of a player card to give you an idea, because you're building poker hands, but these aren't like this is not like a poker or a standard card deck. So here's a hand. You have a card here. This has a 3 and a 2. So it's both a 3 and a 2 in terms of setting up your cards for pairs or runs or whatever. And it has multiple suits. So it's not like one card is a 3 of a spade or something. You can have multiple types of cards fulfilling different types of suits to fill the different types of goals. And here they kind of an example of like a card, like these are the kind of things it's going to want you to play to complete the challenge. If you don't do it, it's going to deal some damage to you, and you have to deal amount of damage to it to complete the objective. Not only are you going to be dealing damage to the cards, there's also puzzles that you're going to have to solve by playing the cards. It's a very unique system, and I don't know necessarily how many people this would love it, or like this would attach to, but they've got nearly 7,000 backers, right? They're in closing. They have still 5 days to go at the time of this recording. They're getting up to 7,000 backers. That means they're doing very well. Nearly $1 million. Like very, very well done job by these guys, the Night Crew Games people over there, the crew. So I'm very impressed. Also, the art completely hand drawn, no AI stuff here, and the art is very, very well done in terms of the world of Cyberpunk. I wish I finished Cyberpunk. It's one of those few games by CD Projekt Red that I've never actually finished. I'd love to get to it. So that is that one. The final game we're going to be talking about is Honor's End. I had a full video preview, first impressions of this one. So if you want my full take on this one, I'd recommend watching that. What I've enjoyed so far since this campaign has been launched, Ivy Studios has gone through and shown that they are adjusting or changing the game based on playtesting and recommendations and videos, such as like the wound cards, which I had a big problem with the wound cards. They are changing those to have some advanced wounds. So I like that we're seeing some of those additional changes happening to the game. I'm very excited to see where this can go at the end of the day, because the game is done very well. I don't think I'm on here. I forgot to submit a quote. That's unfortunate. But definitely recommend this game. This game was fun. Now, if you watch my video, I did say in that video that when I came home from the first time playing this, my wife asked me how I liked it. I was very mid on this game. It wasn't one that hit with me. It took me a while to figure it out, because this is a deck building game that doesn't play like a lot of other deck building games. There's a lot of different nuances that you have to consider when you're adding cards to your deck. And if you build your deck wrong, it's going to be a really miserable experience, because the game just plays very bad. It doesn't sync well if you have a bad deck. And that was my experience, at least playing it. But once I learned that and saw that there was a lot more different kind of avenues for gameplay, it made it open up quite a bit. So that is a hot, quick, should you back or skip episode where I try to bang up all these projects as quick as I can, so you guys aren't sitting here for 35 minutes hearing me ramble, and give you my thoughts on some of these games. Let me know in the comment section down below what you guys think. I would love to hear from it. I'm going to be on vacation, so I'm not going to respond being to too many people, but I do appreciate you guys watching and leaving comments. If you get the ability to hype, try it. I don't know what it does, but there's a new button that says hype this video, so click it if you have it. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.